Hi there, my name's Allie. I just wanted to make an updated version of the video I made previously about my feeding tube. It's an NJ, and wanted to give you some tips and tricks that I actually learned now that I've had this about 11 months. Not the same tube, but you get the idea. Anyway, so just going over the usual. Getting a tube, I don't do it with sedation, I get it without, even though I've had some really bad experiences with bad doctors. One of the doctors decided that they wanted to use my tube as a guide all the way, through the stomach and whatnot. And he ended up shoving 2 tubes down the side of my nose and gagging me completely while also trying to shove another tube through this side of my nose, which I guess is deviated. So I screamed bloody murder. So if you're getting an NJ tube put in and you just have gastroparesis, no other really underlying causes of why your nasal passages won't let it in. If you feel extreme pain, it's not normal. It's a deviated septum. So switch sides. So I actually have to stay on this side of my face the whole time. And I've been going to ear, nose, and throat specialist to check in between me getting new tubes put in, just to make sure that my sinuses are good to go. I do get a lot of stuff that's green crap in there that I think I'm getting a sinus infection, and apparently it's because I have a reflux so bad that it refluxes into my sinuses, and disgusting. So anybody that has a NJ tube should seriously get a neti pot. I'll show you what a neti pot is. Hold on one second. Okie dokie. This is my neti pot. It's backwards, but whatever. Seriously, you pour these little packets in. Distilled water. Do not use tap water. It will get bad bacteria in your sinuses and brain infections, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so you fill that sucker up with the water, you put it in your nose, let it drain out the other side, and it will clear out everything. I have not had one infection in my sinuses, and I've had an NJ tube for almost a year. Yay! Okay, so other than that, a few things that I have found recently, actually, that stick better for tape-wise. I have my little half camo thing right there. I got it in pink also. These actually stick better than any of the tapes that I have found, and they're cute, and they come in other shapes and styles, like little Disney characters, Hello Kitty. These are camo because I'm super cool like that. So these are what these are. Smart Sense camo bandages. They look super cheap. I think the box was $2. I got it at Kmart, and they stick super good, which I'm amazed. So I put that there, and I just put Tegaderm over it to be safe, because I had my dog rip out my first NJ tube that I had. It was horrifying. It's horrible. The end of my Dopphoff tube that's weighted actually cut up my whole entire sinuses. It was coughing out blood for days. Not fun. Don't do that. If you have animals, small kids, and you wear a backpack and you're not using your IV pole, tuck your stuff into your backpack and don't let the slack on, because that's what my dog did. She jumped up, got her paw stuck on, this, and ripped it right out. So, no. What I spray underneath my tape so I don't rip my skin off, and I have very oily skin, so my tape doesn't like to stick to me at all. So this stuff works awesome. You spray it on a cotton ball and put it on your skin first after you wash it, and then let it dry for a second, and then put your tape on. It sticks so much better. You can make your tape stick twice as long. It's this little ditty right here. I get mine free through Apria. I get 2 a month. So otherwise, I think they're $25 a bottle if you get a medical supply store. It's by 3M, Cavalon, No sting barrier film. Cool. So yeah, that's tape-wise. So declogging. My tube still clogs every 3 days or so. Not major clogs, but you know, if I wasn't skilled in getting them out, they would be major clogs. I have an 8 French, and the tube I have is a Dobhoff. It's made by Joey, actually, by Kendal, and it fits perfectly to the Joey bags, as you can see. They're made for each other. Anyway, so super easy way to get a clog out that you are freaking out about, and probably, you know, you're like, oh, do I have to go to the emergency room and get them declog it? Been there so many times. Yeah, 5 hours into like suctioning, pushing, suctioning, so annoying. This is what I found out what works. Usually I have a 12 mil syringe or a 5 mil syringe, and I also have these little guys right here. I'm just using these because I can throw them away after I touch them. They're 3 mil syringes, and I have tons of them. So what you do, you get your larger syringe first, your 10, 12, 5, anything that's around that right there, and you're going to fill it with about 1 mil, 2 mils of water, and you're going to put it in your big port side and just hold it there for a second. You might want 2 people to do this. It's a lot easier. And then you get your smaller syringe. I would prefer using either the 5 or the 3, nothing bigger than that. And you just, you know, get air in it pretty much. And you put both syringes. So your big one is in this one, and you're going to put your 3 in there. And one person is going to turn it over so the water is going in. And then you're both going to push and push. Not like forcibly pushing or anything, just like keep pressure on it, and eventually it will just go boop and stop pushing at that point, so you don't get air in you and you don't use too much force. And sometimes I pull back on the syringe to get whatever was clogging out, so I don't just shove that into my small intestines. But that has worked for me every single time. Of course, beforehand I usually suck out anything that I can previously, so I'm not, you know, shoving all that build-up gunk into me, because that's kind of gross. Yeah, kinking. I've had a couple tubes kink on me. I think my 2nd and 3rd kinked, mainly because the placement was wrong. My dog ripped out one of them, and then the one that they put in, they only got as far as my duodenum, and they couldn't advance it any further at that point, so they just left it. And then by the next day, I figured out that it was kinked and had to go back. They tried to fix it. They said they fixed it, and a couple of days later it was kinked again. So these tubes have like kink memory, basically. You know by your other line here that if it's already kinked and you're trying to, you know, put it in a backpack or something, it'll keep on kinking, and your alarm and your pump will go off, and it'll bug you like crazy. So your tube in your body does pretty much the same thing. If it already had a kink in it and they just shove it in further, pull it out a little bit more, your body's going to make it kind of push forward a little bit further, and it's going to kink again. So if you get a kink, I mean, unless you have like a bigger tube, maybe like 12 French or bigger, you probably won't have this issue, but I would suggest just getting a new tube and saving yourself a headache of just trying to have to go back and repeat it all. I knew my tube was kinked by the unclogging process. I thought it was clogged, and so when I unclog it, I will demonstrate here. I usually have my 12 ml syringe. I get, you know, about that much water in it. I hook it up, and then I just suck it back and hold it, and then whatever comes out, you know, I redo that over and over until it comes out. But this time, when I sucked back like this, a ton of bubbles and air came out, and then absolutely nothing. No buildup. The water was perfectly clear. It was just a ton of bubbles, and then absolutely nothing, and you can't push anything through whatsoever. That's pretty much how I knew it was kinked. the bubbles. Yeah, all right. So, dealing with people, honestly, it gets a little awkward sometimes. You hear some really funny comments when you have a tube. I get asked a lot if I have cancer, which I don't. I don't have cancer. And I was actually, I know it's bad, I smoke cigarettes, and I was buying cigarettes, and the guy at the liquor store looked at me, he's like, you know, you really shouldn't be smoking cigarettes when you have oxygen in your face. You could blow up. And I'm good to know. It's not oxygen, but thank you for caring, I guess. So you get that. People at Starbucks always treat me like I have a mental disorder. They talk really slow and loud. So you just kind of gotta roll with it. You know, little kids, they stare too, and the parents try to like, shh, don't look, don't stare, it's mean. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think it's not that bad. Myself, I feel secure in it. I forget it's there. I have so easy of a time with my tube that it only bothers me, say, if I have to burp or if I have really bad sinus headache from allergies. It's the only time I really notice it. Other than that, I can't feel it. I don't feel it in my throat. I can eat with it. I do eat daily with it. So people seeing me eat and then having a tube, they just don't know what it is. So I think most of the times they are just curious and they want to know more sometimes, or else they're just being annoying. If they ask, I kind of tell them a little bit. You know, if they ask more, I'll describe more. But you don't have to tell each person your life story. You kind of pick and choose what you want people to know about you. It's a great thing, especially for people like me who have gastroparesis, to spread a little awareness about it. But sometimes you just get so tired of saying the same thing over and over again that you're just like, yeah, it's feeding tube. Bye. I think the only time I felt really super awkward, other than like the first month that I had this, is I went to a punk rock show 2 weeks ago, and I saw a bunch of people that I haven't seen in probably about 7 years, and showing up with this, they're like, what's wrong with her? You know, I'm the sick person now, and it's kind of awkward to be around friends that you've known but you haven't seen, that don't know what's going on in your life, really. I got a lot of interesting looks, people kind of staring, and you could tell they're not going to ask you what's going on. You just kind of roll with it. You know what? It's your life, your body. I choose trying to get better and get nutrition. You rock it as best as you can, I guess, right? So yeah, if you guys have any more questions, please feel free to write them below, and maybe I will make another video later with that information. All right, have a great day. Bye.